Hey everyone, Shabby Gamer here, and welcome back to the WWE 2K15 Universe Mode, and this, which will be our Ring of Honor Television Championship #1 Contenders Tournament. The winner of this tournament will go on to face Adam Cole for the championship at our next pay-per-view, which will be our big finale Ring of Honor pay-per-view in about 4 weeks' time. So in this competition for you, we have Davey Richards and Roderick Strong, Tommasso Ciampa, Mike Bennett, Kyle O'Reilly and Austin Aries, and Jay Lethal and Alberto Del Rio. So as you can see, there is a real plethora of fantastic talent here, and we're going to have an incredible competition. So without further ado, let's get straight into our first of the first round matches. And here we go. Davey Richards, the former Ring of Honor Television Champion, taking on Roderick Strong, who's had a couple of opportunities at the belt but not managed to secure it as of yet. Of course, Davey Richards representing the American Wolves as well. Tag team not done too well either in the Universe Mode, so both these guys will be looking to really have a go here this evening. They've both not really had the most fantastic time so far. Of course, Roderick Strong has been tied up with a couple of feuds, mainly the one against Mike Bennett of Kingdom. And of course, Mike Bennett is in this competition. The winner of this match will face the winner of Mike Bennett and Tommasso Ciampa, which is our next match. It looks like Davey Richards has taken some early advantage here in this match. And remember, of course, that as in all my tournaments, damage retention is switched on. So all the damage done in this first round will go on to affect these guys further on in the competition. So the idea is to get through your first round matches as unscathed as possible. And that's really going to give you a huge advantage going forward. I think that's the main reason why in my retro roster, Curt Hennig, Mr. Perfect, won the King of the Ring tournament. I think that's mainly because Curt Hennig took very, very little damage in the first match, and then he was able just to pick off all of his opponents round by round because he was in a much better condition to start with. So it really does help you out if you can get through this first round as unscathed as possible. Then it really does help you out. But that's going to be incredibly difficult. Look at the guys in our bracket for this tournament. They're all absolute fantastic wrestlers, and I think it's going to be difficult for any of them to defeat anybody else quite easily. This is one tournament where I'm looking at the brackets now, and I could not tell you who is going to win. It's just so even. There is 8 fantastic talents here, all real possibilities. And I'm pretty sure, just looking through my list now, Davey Richards is a former television champion, Mike Bennett, former television champion, Austin Aries, former television champion, and Jay Lethal, former television champion. So in this competition, we have 4 former television champions from this Universe Mode. So it really is going to be an interesting tournament as you see Davey Richards with that dragon suplex on Roderick Strong. And of course, both of these guys will be heavily involved in my Universe Mode next year. Davey Richards and Eddie Edwards, part of the American Wolves, will be working both Ring of Honor and Global Force both together. Roderick Strong, not entirely sure what he's going to do. I think he'll just be solely working Ring of Honor. I'm not 100% sure yet. I might smudge him into Global Force Wrestling as well, but I think at the moment he's just penciled in for Ring of Honor as part of the House of Truth, I believe, as well. I'm not 100% sure, but I'll double check that. That'll be the House of Truth alongside Jay Lethal, Donovan Dijak, I think. I'm not sure how to pronounce his name. And I think there was one other as well. Great shining wizard there by Davey Richards on Roderick Strong. And we are going to try and get this through all in one video, of course. I have also uploaded today the Global Force Wrestling Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Competition, so you can check that out, of course. Drop down to the description below and you'll find a link to Global Force playlist. We had to break that into a 2-day pay-per-view. Not 2-day pay-per-view, we had to break it into 2 videos because the first one just became so long. With the tag team matches, they do last a bit longer with your partners coming in to break the pinfalls and submissions. So hopefully we'll be able to squeeze all of this into one pay-per-view for you. And normally with these singles matches, tournaments, they generally last these videos about 40 minutes or so, 35-40 minutes. So that's sort of what we're aiming for in this one. Davey Richards with a kick to the side of the head, now going for the pin, and Roderick Strong. It's only for a 2 count. Richards knows, of course, the early pin, the quick victory here would really help him out. Strong gets on the back of Richards, and there's a neck breaker there by Roderick Strong. Going in for the pin on Richards, 1, only a 1 count. Roderick Strong with a springboard tornado DDT, beautiful move. Now brings Davey Richards back up to his feet, and hits that running drop kick. And could this be all? He looks down and out here. Davey Richards, only a 1 count. Maybe if Roderick Strong was able to pin Davey Richards a bit closer to the middle of the ring. Richards has Strong up, and there's that variation of a GTS using sort of like an overhead kick. 1, 2, and no! Roderick Strong kicks out. We thought Davey Richards had this one in the bag there. And Strong comes back now with that tilt-a-whirl neck breaker. And now Strong signaling for something here as well. He gets Davey Richards up. And there's the big sit-out powerbomb straight into the pin, middle of the ring. And it's Roderick Strong who picks up the victory. But how much damage has been done to Roderick Strong? He got hit with the GTS style move by Davey Richards. That's got to take its toll. And Davey Richards had several big impact moves in this match. And there's that running kick by Roderick Strong. And here it is. See Davey Richards with that variation of a GTS. Instead of catching him with a knee, catches him with a boot. Went for the pin, but it was only for a 2 count. So close to a 3. And then it was Roderick Strong who managed to hit the sit-out powerbomb on Davey Richards' middle of the ring. And picks up the 3 count. So Roderick Strong goes forward to round number 2 of this Ring of Honor Television Championship #1 Contendership tournament. He's taken quite a bit of damage, and both Tommasso Ciampa and Mike Bennett will be aware of that, and whoever wins that match will be looking to extend the damage done to Roderick Strong. But getting through round number 1 is the first milestone in this competition, of course. And as much damage as you take, it's better getting through than not. And now our second first round match will be Tommasso Ciampa versus Mike Bennett. And here we go, Tommasso Ciampa, Mike Bennett. Of course, Mike Bennett, a former television champion in this universe mode very early on. Tommasso Ciampa is a... I don't know, I don't think I've been overly fair on Ciampa. I've not really given him that many opportunities at big sort of championships. He has won some very important matches in normal Ring of Honor television, but he's never really been given an opportunity to go for a championship in this universe mode. And still one thing I'm unsure what I'm doing next year with Tommasso Ciampa. Of course, at the moment, himself and Johnny Gargano have been working a lot of the recent NXT tapings. So I'm unsure whether we're going to have him in NXT on our 2K16 roster, or maybe just have him in Ring of Honor, or just to, until anything is confirmed, I'm thinking what the best way to do is probably have them working both at the same time. So that's currently what they're doing, I should imagine. They're working their indie dates alongside the NXT tapings as well. So I think it's definitely worth that at the moment, until something's confirmed saying they're signed or they're not signed. I think we'll let them work both. Obviously, Johnny Gargano will be working NXT, Ring of Honor, and Global Force, whereas Ciampa's probably just Ring of Honor and NXT at the same time. But obviously, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. There's still 3 weeks until 2K16 comes out, so there's a chance of things to change. Great German suplex there by Tommasso Ciampa on Mike Bennett. Remember, the winner of this match will go on to face Roderick Strong in the next round, and we've seen a feud develop. I say develop, it has developed and also ended between Roderick Strong and Mike Bennett over the last few months, when Roderick Strong was extradited from the Kingdom stable, and yeah, I think there's still a little bit of bad blood between them two, and if they were to meet in the second round of this competition, then that would offer some very, very interesting match, that would be. But still, for Bennett to get there, he has to defeat Ciampa here. Ciampa with a German suplex, rolling forward, sorry, rolling backwards into the bridging pin, but it's not enough to finish Mike Bennett off here. Ciampa there with a clothesline, keeps a hold of the arm and catches him with a second big clothesline, turning Bennett inside out. And Tommasso Ciampa's definitely doing well here, taking some control of this match, and that looked like a very painful move. Hooked the legs, almost like he was going to go for a cloverleaf, but then turned it into some sort of backbreaker, really. But Bennett's back in this one now, in control. Ciampa thrown Bennett into that far corner. Bennett comes bouncing back and manages to reverse Ciampa's advances. Now Bennett with the Saito suplex on Tommaso Ciampa, and of course, as I mentioned, with damage retention on, we saw how much damage that Roderick Strong took in the first round. So a win here for either of these two. They must fancy their chances. Strong was caught with the as Ciampa hits the air raid slam. Strong was caught with the GTS style move from Davey Richards. But Ciampa could have this one tied up there with the air raid slam, going in for the pin. Only a 1 count. But now Ciampa has Bennett up. The powerbomb onto the knees, the Project Ciampa, and this could be Ciampa going through, and with the little damage he took against Mike Bennett here, he could be looking incredibly strong. It is. Tommaso Ciampa defeats Mike Bennett. He's going to go on to face Roderick Strong, and Ciampa's taken very, very little damage in this match compared to what Strong took in the first match, and that is definitely going to help Ciampa. I'm not saying it's a foregone conclusion by any stretch of the imagination, but you'd have to fancy Ciampa to pick up the victory in that second match. We'll have to see what happens later on this evening, of course. We've still got 2 first-round matches before we get to that second-round match. But Tommaso Ciampa, fantastic victory here. And starting to show me that I should have been giving him opportunities a bit earlier on rather than waiting for this long. There's the 1, the 2, and the 3 after the Project Ciampa. The powerbomb onto the knees. So Tommaso Ciampa, the Sicilian psychopath, picks up the victory here. And I've said before, haven't I, he's picked up some pretty impressive victories in our normal Ring of Honor television episodes. So there's no reason why he couldn't go through this competition and become #1 contender to Adam Cole's Ring of Honor Television Championship. But of course, there are still a lot of guys left in this competition. A lot of guys that are desperate to get there as well. And Tommaso Ciampa still has to win 2 more matches to make his way to Adam Cole. And now it's time for our third first-round match. It's Kyle O'Reilly versus former television champion Austin Aries. And here we go, another top 2 Ring of Honor stars here face off in the first round of this television championship #1 contenders tournament. And it's Austin Aries who takes the early advantage here with a string of great moves, but Kyle O'Reilly showing his technical ability there, catching the leg of Aries, now tripping him and continuing the assault to the grounded Austin Aries. Of course, we have seen Kyle O'Reilly again. If I plug my one of my other episodes, the Global Force Wrestling Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championship, Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish were part of that tournament. And of course, I'm not going to give you any spoilers, but if you do want to watch that tournament, as I've said, just drop down to the description below, click on the link to the Global Force Wrestling roster. We had to break that video into 2 parts because of the length it was going. But it's definitely worth a watch. We crowned our first ever Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Champions here in this 2K15 universe mode. It will be a belt that we start with from scratch in 2K16, so it will be there right from the beginning. We won't have to wait until a few weeks till the universe mode finishes. Austin Aries doing very well here. Went for the dropkick, but Kyle O'Reilly avoids it. Now O'Reilly with that boot to the head of Austin Aries, taking him down, and yeah, both these guys are real top talents in Ring of Honor, and they both could really be as serious contenders for the not just the television championship, but the world championship as well. However, we already have our main event sorted for our big finale episode. It is, of course, a fatal 4-way Iron Man match. Very similar to the way that the Ring of Honor Championship was very first handed out. We're going to have Samoa Joe defending against CM Punk, Daniel Bryan and Sami Zayn in that 4-way Iron Man match. 15 minutes long, most pinfalls or submissions in the 15 minutes will be the champion. Will Samoa Joe be able to defend his belt? So, I go on about ever-present champions, but Samoa Joe is not an ever-present champion. However, he did win the belt on the very first week of the universe mode from Kevin Owens. So he has held the belt for a long time, Samoa Joe. And I don't think we've really given him a lot of praise for that, really, because it has, like I said, it's been a very long time. He held it since week #1, because of course Ring of Honor was the very first pay-per-view we had in this universe mode. And it probably will be again, thinking about it, next year. it's always an easy one to do, Ring of Honor, because you don't have to build up their shows too much, because you can just put matches on like this in a pay-per-view, Kyle O'Reilly versus Austin Aries, and you know you're guaranteed a fantastic match. Doesn't necessarily need a lot of backstory to it. Although it is nice, obviously, to have backstory to it. Headbutts here by Kyle O'Reilly on Austin Aries. And of course, our Universe mode next year, I think, is going to be a lot more in-depth. There's going to be a lot more guys on there. And hopefully it will go a lot longer as well. I know, I think I'm up to about month 5 or 6 now in this Universe mode. So we've not done badly at all. We've been going through pretty well. Putting on extra videos like this is always a way just to spice it up a little bit. And we're not just same boring weekly shows over and over again. So it's nice to have these little extra videos here and there. We're going to have another one next week as well. We're going to have the Combat Zone Wrestling Tag Team Championship #1 Contenders Tournament. So be sure to check that out as well, again on the Combat Zone Wrestling playlist. They're coming to the end of that Combat Zone Wrestling roster now. That's only got about 3 weeks left. And of course Retro ends next week as well. So we are starting to close this Universe mode down now, getting ready for 2K16 to come out. And hopefully all of the Universe mode will be fully uploaded by the time 2K16 does come out. We've still got another 8 weeks worth of footage to do, but of course when Retro finishes next week, we're not going to record any more Retro episodes, so that gives me an extra night a week. When Combat Zone Wrestling finishes again, that's only going to be an extra episode less a week we need to do, so it should be easy enough to get the 8 weeks all uploaded before 2K16 comes out. And then that first weekend when 2K16 comes out, we are going to absolutely just go mad. We're going to be uploading stuff left, right and centre. I've got 2 computers on the go now, so I can record on one while editing and uploading on the other. O'Reilly now with a boot to the stomach of Austin Aries, and so it looks like he's going to use the ring post to his advantage here, and I thought he was going to just swing at it, but no, he's going to lock in the figure 4 leg lock on Austin Aries around that ring post. Referee, of course, gives Kyle O'Reilly the 5 count, but the damage has been done, and that's not good for Austin Aries, because even if he gets through this match, he's going to have to take the damage sustained in that figure 4 the whole way through this evening. Of course, the winner of this match will face off against the winner of our next match, Jay Lethal and Alberto Del Rio, so it's really not going to be very easy. As Austin Aries and Kyle O'Reilly still fighting on the outside. O'Reilly back in the ring, slides back out to break the referee's count, sorry. And now these two guys locking up again, and Austin Aries, he gets Kyle O'Reilly up and drops him in the brainbuster, and this could be all. 1, 2, and no! I thought that was a 3 count there, and I thought Austin Aries had this one tied up. Catching Kyle O'Reilly with a brainbuster out of nowhere. And Austin Aries with a belly-to-belly slam coming from the corner. And Aries locking in a submission hold now, just wrenching back at the arms while pushing the knee into the middle of the back of Kyle O'Reilly. It's going to be painful, that on your shoulders. Oh, but O'Reilly fights his way back, launching at Austin Aries over the top rope. And Austin Aries, of course, will be working for Global Force Wrestling and Ring of Honor next year, as will Kyle O'Reilly as part of Red Dragon, as well as, of course, being a singles competitor, because he is a fantastic wrestler. Now O'Reilly now with the butterfly suplex into the armbar. He's got the arm of Austin Aries locked in. Can Aries fight his way out? He does. Kyle O'Reilly breaks the hold. And Aries with a trip, and now went for the elbow drop to the arm of Kyle O'Reilly. Kyle O'Reilly gets from the back of Aries. And Kyle O'Reilly continuing to work on that arm that he locked in the submission. Now Kyle O'Reilly going for another submission. Oh, beautiful. Almost like a surfboard submission. What a great move that is by Kyle O'Reilly. It's not enough though to finish Austin Aries off, and Aries, you see, really favouring that arm. And both these guys have sustained quite a bit of damage now. Of course, O'Reilly been caught with a brainbuster. Austin Aries been locked in several submission holds. And I'm thinking if Austin Aries does make it his way through, of course, the next match if Alberto Del Rio gets through, then there's going to be a lot of submissions for Austin Aries to try and fight out of. And you see Kyle O'Reilly again locking in that submission. And surely Austin Aries is going to have to give sooner or later. Oh, but it's not here. It's going to be later by the looks of it. Aries with a dragon screw on the leg of Kyle O'Reilly. And there's the elbow drop as well. Aries over the top, went for that corkscrew splash. Didn't quite catch all of it, but shook Kyle O'Reilly for a couple of seconds. But O'Reilly seems to be back with it now. O'Reilly throwing Austin Aries over the top, where Austin Aries managed to hold on, and O'Reilly joins him on the outside. A DDT on the apron of the ring. That's the hardest part of the ring. But of course, you do all that damage and your opponent is now sat on the outside of the ring. You can't really take advantage of it and pin him. But that's more damage that Austin Aries has sustained here this evening. As I mentioned, the damage that Austin Aries has taken, it's going to be very difficult for him to advance much further in the competition if he does manage to get through Kyle O'Reilly here. Aries going for the pin after that corkscrew crossbody, only for a 2 count. Now Aries now with that, locking that same submission as early on, pushing the knee into the back and then just wrenching back at the shoulders of Kyle O'Reilly. But again, O'Reilly manages to fight out, this time with a back headbutt. Both guys went for running strikes there, and it's Austin Aries who managed to catch him first for that running drop kick. And a big elbow to the back of the neck of Kyle O'Reilly by Austin Aries. Aries again looks to go for a high impact move, but O'Reilly, that great quick kick off the top. O'Reilly now joining Austin Aries on the top. Hooks him under the arms. Super butterfly suplex, and surely that's got to be the end of Austin Aries. O'Reilly with the pin. 1, 2, and 3, and it is. Austin Aries has been eliminated from this competition. Kyle O'Reilly makes it through, taking a bit of damage, not an excessive amount, I would say. Did get caught with the brainbuster by Austin Aries. There wasn't enough to finish him off in this match, but the damage he's taken will go on. I think Austin Aries would have struggled with the submissions that he was locked into, and of course that DDT on the apron as well was nasty. See Aries here going for a pin, but of course it was only for a 2 count. But then this super butterfly suplex, what a beautiful move that was. And that was enough to finish Austin Aries off. And it's Kyle O'Reilly making his way through to round number 2. He's going to go on to face the winner of our next match, Jay Lethal, the former Ring of Honor Television Champion, and Alberto Del Rio. Of course, damage has been done to all these guys so far in the competition. I think it's a little bit even. I think Ciampa's probably in the best condition so far. He will be the man backstage who will be rubbing his hands together and thinking that he just has to pick off now the injuries these guys have already suffered earlier on in the first round matches. And now it's time for our last first round match. It's Jay Lethal taking on Alberto Del Rio. And here we go, our last first round match of the evening. Del Rio and Jay Lethal. Of course, Jay Lethal, a former 2-time Ring of Honor Television Champion in this universe mode. Del Rio yet to pick up a championship, but I'm sure he'll be itching to take this opportunity. His last chance, really. He knows he's not going to be going for the World Championship at the main event at our big finale episode. This is his last chance to really go for gold in this Ring of Honor roster. He needs to win this this competition, but of course there's still Jay Lethal and 3 other guys in front of him here this evening. Great head scissors there over the top by Jay Lethal. And of course, again, as I keep mentioning, both these guys will be part of my universe mode next year. Jay Lethal working solely for Ring of Honor, and Del Rio working for both Ring of Honor and Global Force Wrestling. It'd be good to see a crossover with the rosters with our new I'm gonna start again that sentence. It'd be good with the new feature allowing you to have guys in more than one roster at the same time. To have guys like obviously All a Bullet Club, Alberto Del Rio. We're going to have Michael Elgin and Brian Cage. There's been quite a few that are working both Ring of Honor and Global Force at the same time. Of course, a lot of tag teams, the American Wolves, Red Dragon, Kingdom. So there'll be a lot of people working both rosters at the same time. That's really going to help us really have bigger rosters, because at the moment, I didn't realise, we've only got 28 guys in this Ring of Honor roster at the moment, and we've only got about 30 guys on our Global Force Wrestling roster, whereas at the moment, on my little sketch, I've got down at least sort of 40 in each roster. I think even more for Global Force. I think Global Force is touching 50 guys in the roster, so we're really going to have a much more in-depth and varied universe mode next year. We may have to extend all the shows to maybe a 6-match show, maybe. We'll have to see how it works when we come to it. See the limitations of the game as well. Whether it's increased the amount of matches we can have for pay-per-views, whether it's increased the amount of rivalries we can use, the amount of championships we can use on a show as well. That's a big one that's so simple for them to change, just allow us to have more championships. I know we can do them manually, but it's nice to have the rankings already built into the game, and just having the game thinking a bit more about the other championships which are being used in that roster. Especially with situations like Global Force Wrestling. Now we have 2 tag team championships. We have the normal tag team championships and the junior heavyweight. So at the moment, of course, the game only lets us use 1, and it doesn't work, because if you think about it logically, you're only allowed on this game, you're allowed 1 main event championship, you're allowed 1 mid-card championship, 1 tag team championship, 1 women's championship, which doesn't even work for WWE in general, because WWE have the United States and the Intercontinental Championship as their mid-card championship. So the game's not even set up correctly for WWE, which is the company it's supposed to be representing. So hopefully that's something they'll definitely change next year. I know they've still have like the roster split on this game, which I would love to see the roster split come back, but at the moment obviously we don't have that. Jay Lethal fights way back up to his feet and now gets caught with a tilt-a-whirl backbreaker by Alberto Del Rio. Of course, the winner of this match will go on to face Kyle O'Reilly later on this evening in our second semi-final. So Lethal taking Del Rio up onto the corner there now. Hooking the legs. Great German suplex by Lethal. And signaling for it. And there's the big elbow. The Black Machismo elbow. And Lethal could pick up a very quick victory here for Del Rio. 1, 2, and no! Del Rio kicks out at the last possible second, and I thought Lethal was going to walk straight through Del Rio here, and that would have put him in fantastic opportunity to go the whole way in this competition, because he's not taken a lot of damage so far, Lethal. A nice quick match here really would have helped him out. Running dropkick avoided by Del Rio. Discus forearm by Jay Lethal, now pulling Del Rio into the middle of the ring. Going for a pin once again. 1, 2, only a 2 count. Del Rio catching the strike there of Lethal, but Lethal goes back with a couple more. Gets on the back of Del Rio, and there's a drop kick to the back of the head, but Del Rio manages to stay on his feet. And Jay Lethal just clotheslining Del Rio straight over the top. Dangerous move there, because it could do some damage to Lethal as well, who follows over that Lucha Libre style arm drag on Del Rio on the outside. Del Rio locking in the cross arm break, but it's on the outside of the ring. Even if Lethal taps, it's not going to make any difference, because obviously submissions and pinfalls must count inside the ring only. Both guys back in the ring now. And that's going to do some damage to Jay Lethal that he could have done without. If Lethal does make it into the next round, he's been locked into an armbar already, and he's going to go into a match with Kyle O'Reilly if he does make it through. And of course, Kyle O'Reilly likes to utilise the armbar himself. But you can't write Del Rio off here. He's taken a lot more damage from Jay Lethal so far, but there's no reason why he couldn't come back and pick up the victory. Dropkick to the side of the head of Jay Lethal. Now Del Rio brings Lethal back up to his feet, and Lethal with a quick roll-up. 1, 2, and 3, and that's it. Jay Lethal with a quick roll-up finishes Alberto Del Rio off. And what a great win here for Lethal. And unfortunately for Del Rio, it means he's not going to taste gold in this Ring of Honor Universe mode. He's not going to be involved in the main event for the championship, and obviously he's not going to be involved in the Television Championship event now either. There's the quick roll-up from Jay Lethal. It was enough to finish Alberto Del Rio off, and Lethal has taken a bit of damage, but I don't think as much as some of the other guys in this competition. The one worry I do have for Lethal is that Del Rio did manage to lock him in the armbar, and of course Kyle O'Reilly loves to utilise that armbar himself. So will that come back to haunt Lethal at all? We'll have to find out, but of course we have got 2 semi-finals now. Lethal's got a little bit of time to recuperate as our next match, Roderick Strong and Tommaso Ciampa, goes on. And as I just said, it's time for our first semi-final as Roderick Strong takes on Tommaso Ciampa. And here we go. I think Tommaso Ciampa is in the better condition coming into this match. I think Roderick Strong took a bit more damage against Davey Richards than he was hoping to. Obviously caught with that GTS style move. Instead of using the knee, of course, Davey Richards uses the foot and caught him with that kick to the head. Tommaso Ciampa had a better time, I think, against Mike Bennett. I think managed to retain a bit more energy and wasn't hit with any large impact moves. Roderick Strong now being pulled into the middle of the ring, sorry, by Tommaso Ciampa. Sorry, something's just popped up in the middle of my screen, which is very annoying when I'm trying to record. Tommaso Ciampa locking in the camel clutch submission. But Roderick Strong was able to get to the ropes quickly enough. There's the shoulder block there by Roderick Strong. And a springboard dropkick as well by Roderick Strong, trying to use some high impact moves here to try and get back into it. Russian leg sweep there by Tommaso Ciampa though. Brings Roderick Strong back up to his feet, and now Ciampa with a backbreaker as well. Ciampa bringing Strong back up to his feet and going to go for a second backbreaker, and Ciampa really working the back over here of Roderick Strong. Maybe he's going to go for a submission, and just as I'm saying, he does. Pushing the knee into the middle of that back now, wrenching back at the arms. Roderick Strong's taken a lot of damage in this match. Is this going to be enough? No, it's not. Tommaso Ciampa breaks the hold, and Strong back up to his feet, but Ciampa gets caught with that belly-to-belly slam. Strong again went for that springboard dropkick, but this time Ciampa saw it coming. Now Ciampa just hoisting Strong up in the gut wrench. And there he is, showing his strength. And could this be all here? Ciampa looks like he's going to go for a pin. 1, 2. Only a 2 count. Roderick Strong still in this one. But how close is he to being out of this one? Oh, just launches Tommaso Ciampa over the top rope. Ciampa hit that ground hard, and that's going to allow Roderick Strong here, you see, to rebuild a bit of energy in the ring. But Ciampa's straight back in and continues the assault with that belly-to-belly slam. Ciampa went for that discus forearm, but Roderick Strong caught him and then hit him with a tilt-a-whirl neckbreaker. Strong pulling Ciampa in the middle of the ring, going to go for a pin. 1, 2. Only a 2 count. This match continues. Strong again with a headlock and has an elbow to the forehead of Tommaso Ciampa. And a big knee to the face of Ciampa as well. And there's that tilt-a-whirl neckbreaker again by Roderick Strong. Standing shooting star press by Strong. And Roddy's really starting to try and build some momentum here. The damage taken in the first match seems to not be affecting him too much as he locks in a submission hold now on Ciampa. Ciampa's just a couple of inches away from the ropes. He can't quite reach. Finally, Roderick Strong breaks the hold and hits that running boot. We saw that in the first match this evening, and this will be enough to finish Ciampa off. It is. Roderick Strong, against the odds, defeats Tommaso Ciampa here. And I was absolutely convinced that Tommaso Ciampa was going to win this match after the damage taken by Strong in the first match against Davey Richards, and Tommaso Ciampa having a bit more of an easy time against Mike Bennett. I'm surprised that Roderick Strong's done so well here. This is the submission that almost sort of set him up, and you see there's that running boot for the 3 count, the 2 and the 3. So now Mike Bennett, who got knocked out in the first round, so Roderick Strong will go on to face the winner of our next match, Kyle O'Reilly and Jay Lethal, in the final. Of course, the winner of that match will go on to face Adam Cole at our big finale episode. Unsure what the pay-per-view is going to be as yet. We'll have to have a little dig around and see what we can find. But what a great win here for Roderick Strong. But it's still one more win away from what all these guys are here fighting for. And now it's time for our second semi-final as Kyle O'Reilly takes on Jay Lethal. And here we go with our second semi-final of the evening. Both these guys took some damage in the first round, but I think Jay Lethal probably, I'm going to say he's in the better condition, but at the same time, Jay Lethal did get caught with the armbar as Lethal goes for the quick and early win here at Kyle O'Reilly, and that was so close to a freak out, just showing how much damage O'Reilly took in his first round match. But as I said, Lethal was looking at a good position. However, he did get locked into the armbar by Del Rio, and O'Reilly using his submission skills again to lock in the surfboard submission on Jay Lethal. As I said, a lot of damage been done to the arm of Lethal in the first round, so that's really going to help Kyle O'Reilly out if he could lock in, obviously, his cross arm breaker submission hold. Quick roll up here by Kyle O'Reilly. Both guys trying to make this a quick match. Oh, and again, it's a 2 count very early on. O'Reilly throws Lethal into the corner with a lot of force on Lethal with a quick roll up. 1, 2, and 3. Lethal's got it. And what a quick match that was. And Jay Lethal is going on to face Roderick Strong in the final here this evening. And what a quick match that was. You see the damage done by Austin Aries on Kyle O'Reilly in the first round was enough to come back to haunt him, I think. And this is the quick roll up for the 3 count. And Jay Lethal is done very well here to win this match, but also it was a much quicker match than the Roderick Strong Tommaso Ciampa match. So you've got to think that Jay Lethal must be very, very happy with this. He's going to go on to the final match with probably a bit more in the tank than Roderick Strong. But of course, as we saw by the last match, you could not write Roderick Strong off. I thought Tommaso Ciampa was guaranteed to win the last match, but it was Strong who managed to come out on top. And Jay Lethal has done very well here, but he's still got a hell of a fight ahead of him with Roderick Strong. And now it's time for our big final here this evening. Who will go on to face Adam Cole at our last big finale pay-per-view in 5 weeks' time? Will it be Roderick Strong? Will it be Jay Lethal? We're going to find out now. And here we go. Who is in the best condition out of these two? They're both looking like they're struggling. I can't imagine this match is going to last too long at all. Of course, Jay Lethal's last match didn't last very long at all. So I think he's probably got a bit more in the tank than Roderick Strong. However, I thought that for the Roderick Strong Tommaso Ciampa match. So you can't write Strong off. Jay Lethal again going for an early victory. But Roderick Strong kicks out after 2. And I think this is going to be a quick match. As I said, a 2 count already. And now Lethal goes straight in with an armbar submission here by Lethal on Roderick Strong. Has this been enough to finish Roderick off? No. Great agility there by Roderick Strong, using his legs to hook round and take Lethal out of this match. Now Strong going for a submission of his own, wrenching back at the neck of Lethal, and Lethal's taken some damage in the last few matches. Any submission these two guys lock in could be enough to finish this match off. Strong bringing Lethal back up to his feet. Lethal with a running elbow, avoided by Strong. Strong now with a big knee to the stomach, and Lethal with a headlock. Lethal with a head scissors. Looked like Strong was going to catch him in the powerbomb, but Lethal managed to reverse it into that head scissors takedown. Now Lethal again with the arm, but Roderick Strong's feet were underneath that far rope, and the referee forces Lethal to break the pin. And now Lethal with the Alabama slam on Roderick Strong, and that could be all. But not Lethal not going for the pin immediately. Got to follow it up with an elbow drop, and probably should have gone for the pin after Alabama slam. That's a high impact move. It could have finished it all off. There's the tilt-a-well neckbreaker by Roderick Strong. Rolling Jay Lethal over it again. Going to lock in that submission. Wrenching back at the neck, and Lethal probably not aware of his ring position. His legs are very close to the ropes. He could probably hook one over that bottom rope and break the hold. Roderick Strong now goes to get Lethal up in the suplex. Lethal reverses into a snap suplex of his own. And now just stomping on the arm of Roderick Strong. We've seen Lethal already lock in a couple of arm bars. There's the Dragon Suplex pin, and Jay Lethal's got it. Jay Lethal wins this match with that Dragon Suplex pin. What a great win here for Jay Lethal. This was a 2 count incredibly early on in the match. Must have only been a few seconds in. And this is where Roderick Strong was going for a suplex. Lethal reversed it into that snap suplex. And now you see here, brings Roderick Strong back up to his feet, locks the arms, and there's the Dragon Suplex, manages to bridge it and keep him for the pin. And Jay Lethal is victorious here. He is the champion. Well, he's not the champion yet. He's the #1 contender for the championship, shall we say. He is going on to face Adam Cole at our big finale episode in 4 or 5 weeks' time for the Ring of Honor Television Championship. Of course, Jay Lethal, the 2-time Ring of Honor Television Champion already in this universe mode, he gets the opportunity to make it 3 times. And as you can see here are the final brackets. Jay Lethal defeated Del Rio in round 1, Kyle O'Reilly in round 2, and then Roderick Strong in the final to become the #1 contender for the Ring of Honor Television Championship. Thank you very much for watching this episode, guys. I hope you've all enjoyed it. It's been a fantastic competition, some great names involved, some great matches as well. If you could like this video, absolutely fantastic, helps me a lot, and of course subscribe is 10 times better and you get a nice little buzz every time I upload a video. I've been Shabby Gamer, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.